Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Just Us Marks Wrestling Recap Show. I am the Athletic Geek, joined this week by EZ.
Ayo.
And we are marching on the road to WrestleMania. We are also trying to, I don't want to say start anew, but we're trying to put the pieces in together as Double or Nothing looms in the month of May. So, yeah. I've never seen the show before. This is the Just Us Marks Wrestling Recap Show. I'm at Easy at All In Starcast. We love wrestling, love talking wrestling, we love sharing our love for wrestling with each and every one of you out there. However, just like each and every one of you out there, we're just fans. Our opinions are that of any other fans. We avoid insider terms. We're not insiders. We are not wrestlers. We are just a bunch of marks. And yeah, starting it off with Raw. The Judgment Day wrestled Johnny Gargano and Dexter Lumis.
Okay, then.
It wasn't a bad match. It really wasn't a good match. It was about an average match. Damian Priest pinned Dexter Lumis.
Then Johnny Gargano returned to NXT this.
Yeah, he's gonna be at Takeover.
Okay.
But,
why is his services still needed on Raw?
Because he's doing both.
Okay, then.
Because he's going to one to help get some buzz around a developmental brand, because that's what NXT is now. It's developmental. There's no spinning it anymore. It is literally where you go to develop, and they want some more buzz and some more star power for that show, but they want to keep Johnny Gargano on the main roster that, contrary to the internet's belief, people want to be on the main roster. You get more opportunities there. A little secret I wanted to let you in on. And truth be told, even in the other developmental systems, they'd have, main roster guys show up for big shows. I don't want to say quite a bit, but, it happened. Punk wrestled Seth Rollins in FCW once. I know, in the OVW days, they had Kane and Rikishi and the Big Show and Mark Henry and all them would kind of make certain dates for OVW. So this isn't new. The only thing new about it is the fact that it's now on national television. The developmental system. And Edge and Finn Balor at WrestleMania will be Hell in a Cell. So.
Okay.
That'd be a good way to end this, please. Omos and MVP do a showdown with Brock Lesnar before their match. I said this on Twitter, and I still think I'm probably not going to like this match, but the spectacle of it all, people are digging it, so who am I to say that it's the wrong thing to do?
It's of all the opponents, though, come on. I mean, okay.
Remember what I just said, though. There's a lot of people into this, because there's a lot of people that just want to see if Brock Lesnar can throw a Omos around. Some people are into that spectacle. I'm not one of them, but I get it. I don't like all the creative changes they make to comic book movies, but I get them.
What happened to the same naysayers who were hoping, and I promise you I'm not calling you out, but what happened to all those same naysayers who were hoping The Rock is going to be at WrestleMania fighting someone? It suddenly disappeared.
People have been talking about The Rock for years coming back. People have been talking about The Rock coming in for a match at WrestleMania, a real match at WrestleMania, be it against Triple H, or Roman Reigns, or whoever, for years. 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 There will not be a WrestleMania go by where someone doesn't say, hey, The Rock might show up.
I'm not saying he's not going to appear. Like, let's face it, he's likely going to appear at night 1 or night 2, whichever. But, for people who thought, maybe The Rock's going to have a match with Roman Reigns, it's like, yeah, you guys really thought that was going to happen. You guys were thinking that was going to happen at Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
Again,
because
like, if The Rock shows up, cool, that's awesome. More power to you. But it's just the people who are assuming he's going to have, like, a main event matchup with, like, honestly, of all opponents, I would actually like to see Brock and Rock, at Mania.
Brock and Rock has happened once. Roman and Rock has never happened. But I'm going to take your argument, and then I'm going to, a lot of people are saying the same thing that you were a year ago, saying, like, it's just going to be a segment, you guys. It's just going to be Kevin Owens and Stone Cold Steve Austin having a segment, and KO's going to eat the stunner, you guys. Like, come on, really? You really think Stone Cold's going to be there and wrestle? Don't make us laugh. And what happened?
I'll take the salt.
I'm just saying, like, stranger things have happened. And we had a match with Stone Cold Steve Austin last year when everybody's like, "Oh, these rumors are bullshit. That's never going to happen." So it's just one of those things.
So are we hoping for Stone Cold Rock Part 4?
I never want to see that match again.
I think I might have jinxed it.
I don't want to see it again because they're never going to top what they've done in the past. And they're both Stone Cold and The Rock are in positions right now where they need somebody who's kind of still wrestling on a regular basis to help them. Stone Cold needed Kevin Owens. I'm not saying Stone Cold didn't do some work in that match, but Stone Cold needed a guy who could go like Kevin Owens. And The Rock would need somebody who could go like Roman Reigns. The Rock needed John Cena because, the last 11 years ago, he needed John Cena. So
we just needed the first match, and the second one was very unnecessary.
That might be a podcast one day. Next up, we have Cody Rhodes versus LA Knight. Yeah. Not a bad match. LA Knight's one of the best guys on their roster right now, and I really hope they do more with him. But next up, we have Elias versus Bronson Reed. It happened. It was a short match where Bronson Reed beat the shit out of him. And they seem to be wanting to build up Bronson Reed, so on that aspect, I'm not complaining. And I feel like this was a necessary thing you had to do to continue to the ascent of Bronson Reed, but, these sorts of matches aren't everyone's cup of tea. Theory and Angelo Dawkins had a match. It was short and not very good. Seth Rollins wrestled Baron Corbin. It was short and not very good. Bianca Belair wrestled Chelsea Green. It was short and not very good. Are you sensing a pattern with this week's episode of Raw? And then Solo Sikoa.
The same old 3-hour stuff they do.
This was
very sometimes good, and then sometimes they revert back to the reset button.
This, I want to say, it was. A couple weeks ago on Dynamite, you had very much a just very blah episode of Dynamite, just basically centered around, like, it was literally just kind of like, here's here's an episode with some things to get you the pay-per-view. That's what this episode of Raw was. The main event was good. Solo Sikoa beat Kevin Owens. So, I like that. But, yeah. This was just basically a, hey, we need a, short, don't get anyone hurt episode of Raw to lead us into WrestleMania. It is the epitome of skippable. And every company has those. AEW had it a couple weeks ago. WWE had it this time. It is what it is. It wasn't a very good episode.
And also on top of that, it's rumored that Bray Wyatt may not be at Mania because he's dealing with a physical illness, which that sucks.
Well, that's unfortunate for him and for Bobby Lashley, who was going to be his opponent. Yeah. You wonder what they're going to do with Bobby Lashley.
He'll be the winner of the Andre the Giant Battle Royale or something. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
I don't mind it, but
I don't mind. But like the card's stacking up, and there's not a lot for people to do right now. I mean, we have the there is a U.S. title match. The other belts, as we're going to talk about on SmackDown, they're kind of spoken for now. So there's not a lot for anybody else to do. And with Bray leaving, it doesn't leave a lot of time to get Bobby a credible WrestleMania opponent.
The Rock.
I mean, shit.
Which, honestly, I would not mind seeing that.
I don't think anybody would, unless you want to put on your internet hipster fedora and hat and drink out of your $20 chai coffee latte and talk about how that's not a. You think that's good? AEW is going to have Kenny Omega in something. That's what a banger is. So, I wouldn't mind seeing Lashley and Rock either. I don't think it'd be the world's greatest match, but I also think Bobby Lashley is a very underrated wrestler. So.
Oh yeah.
So SmackDown, Cody Rhodes comes out, and he calls out Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn to try and play peacekeeper. It doesn't work. At first.
And you've tried that in AEW before. Playing peacekeeper.
Yeah. But we go from there to Dominic and Rhea versus Zelina Vega and Santos Escobar. Ripley wins, which she should, because she's getting ready to have a big match at WrestleMania.
There's also another heavy rumor that and I'm not knocking on Flair and Ripley for this, but that they might have the main event instead of the tag titles.
I think that is what they're going to go with, yes.
I mean, if you're looking at fan interest and the fan hype, everyone would honestly want to see the tag titles as the main event of night one, because that's honestly been the biggest storyline everybody has been talking about. Mm-hmm. At least in our case, when we were at 35, Becky, Ronda, and Charlotte, that was the very first women's main event at Mania, minus how shitty the ending was. The match was amazing. And that was the match that everyone was talking about because everyone wanted to see Becky walk off with both belts.
Yeah,
because that's what people were talking about.
Yeah. I feel
I don't see not a lot of people talking about Charlotte and Ripley.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird position because they kind of at WrestleMania 37 they kind of set a precedent that one night a women's title match would be the main event and a men's title match would be the main event the next, and people really thought they were going to continue with that precedent. And then last year with Ronda and Charlotte being bumped from the main event from the because of the aforementioned Stone Cold Steve Austin match. It's not my place to get into this debate or this discussion, but a lot of people felt that the women got shit on for that. I mean, it's kind of, see that argument. I also see the fact that it's like you don't bring in Stone Cold to wrestle third. And also if they would have had Stone Cold go on before the women's match, the fans wouldn't have been into it as much, at least when it was Ronda and Charlotte. So,
or at least, like, a lot of the energy would have been sucked out.
Yeah.
Like, everyone would be drained.
So, I feel like they're kind of going in a, well, we kind of pulled the rug out from under the women's title match last year. Maybe they should get their due this year with the women's championship, or have a women's
I see that argument as well.
But on the flip side,
it's unfortunate. The push, though, you need more people, like, maybe try to talk more about Charlotte and Ripley. But no, literally on both Raw and SmackDown, everyone is just seeing at the Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, could they take out the Bloodline?
That's the downside is,
and that's honestly
you kind of play that
best push in recent memory.
You play right now. WWE's kind of, they're in a no-win scenario with either A, putting a storyline for the tag belts that's very, very hot right now in the main event, or B, shafting the women's division and possibly offending a section of their fan base by doing that again. It's kind of a no-win scenario. You know what? The only way they can actually, make things right, let Charlotte and Rhea main event night 1, and then let the tag team titles main event night 2, and Cody can just open the show. Because, he's not that good. He's really just not that good, and Roman's really not that good, and they really shouldn't be doing this match. So, why don't you just do it that way?
Well, in a way, 35 kind of did this with Seth Rollins against Brock Lesnar. Or wait, no, sorry, I'm thinking something else. Kofi, Bryan, there we go. They were like the third match before the final one.
I think I was being sarcastic because I was just trying to be a cool wrestling fan, hate Cody Rhodes, because that's what a good wrestling fan does, a real one does.
I legit thought you were being serious.
No, I'm being like...
I was going to say, I really wouldn't mind if the world title match was like maybe the middle of the show, or...
Well, if the world title match is the middle of the show, you can pretty well bet Cody isn't winning, because that would also be the kiss of death to having one of the longest world title reigns end in the middle of the fucking show.
I mean, they had the streak end in the middle of the show before.
Yeah, was that good? Was that good for the main event?
Could have been.
No. If Roman Reigns' title reign ends in the middle of the show, it's not a good call. But, again, Cody shouldn't be in the main event anyway. He's really not a good wrestler. So let's move on. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez defeated Emma and Tegan Nox to qualify for a Fatal 4-Way tag team match at WrestleMania 39. I.e., how do we get Ronda Rousey on this fucking card? Xavier Woods beat LA Knight.
LA Knight had 2 matches?
Then we had for the number 1 contendership to face Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. It ended in a brawl and a no contest when Imperium attacked both men. Then Adam Pearce said because of that, Gunther would have to defend the Intercontinental Championship against both Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. This is going to be a really good match, I think.
I think that might be a match of the night.
We'll see.
That's saying something. I mean, come on, you got an Austrian, you got a Scottish, and you got an Irish fighting each other. That is the definition of an intercontinental match.
Yep. The Intercontinental title has been built up better than probably best it's been in years, and it's probably been built up better than any other secondary belt in pro wrestling right now. And yeah, I am taking the IWGP US title into consideration there as well. So, then finally at the end of it, Sami Zayn and Jey Uso have their confrontation. Good segment. And then Kevin Owens comes out to help. They have their hug, and now they're back together. I'm not going to talk too much about it because it's a good segment, and you should check it out. But, yeah. Raw wasn't very good. SmackDown was good. And it was of no thanks to that very not good wrestler, Cody Rhodes. I mean, I'm just trying to be a real wrestling fan, you guys.
I know. Sure. So I'm about to head to my favorite segment now.
Yeah. Let's talk about the most inconsistent show in pro wrestling. And I mean that.
It's fine by me, because, yeah, there's some bad things I gotta say, too.
Yeah, we're gonna talk Dynamite now. Maybe.
Which was held in the best hockey city in the world, Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, and I wish I was there, but I had a friend that was there, and it looked like he had fun.
Yeah. Page isn't wanting to load. That's neat. I will.
Yep.
That's what I get for trying to look up the results from Bleacher Report. The epic fail that is a service of any kind.
Well, for those who saw, and we finally probably had the 4 pillars of AEW in the ring.
Yes, so hang on. I'm going to try it from here. Hold on.
All right.
I hate navigating the AEW website, too. Their website's a fail.
Normally, I just go on YouTube to look up the stuff.
Well, I can't really go to YouTube whenever I'm...
That's true.
Yeah. This whole thing. I hate the fucking...
Technology's taking a page out of the old Purdue basketball playbook. Play the level of your competition. I don't know. Playing down to your competition. There we go.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
I've heard there's been a lot of upsets. I've heard, like, a lot of teams got beat. I don't know. I don't care.
Alabama and UCLA are still alive, so I'm happy. And next season, the entire Big Ten Conference is going to give Purdue a little Sweet 16 celebration.
So why do you hate Purdue?
I know. More reasons to laugh at them.
I said, why do you hate Purdue?
I don't really hate them. I'm just laughing at their misery that you lost to a 16.
Duke also lost to a 16. Aren't they like the king of basketball, or they were?
I don't like them.
All right, so we have the Reebok Bar Mitzvah, and yes, we do have the aforementioned 4 pillars in the ring. This is really good. This is a nice change of pace to the... The big thing is, they going to go with a 4-way with the pillars, or are they going to have, like, MJF wrestle all the pillars individually? It's going to be a little difficult with Sammy. But, I don't know. I'm interested to see where they go with this. This is a good idea.
I mean, we've got 2 months to build this up. I mean, worst case scenario, they could do like a I guess I was about to say 4-way tournament, but like, wait a minute, nope, MJF's the champ. But honestly, I would not mind this at all at Double or Nothing that you get the 4 pillars, and I'm sure MJF would like lay down like challenges or gauntlets that you want to be in this match, you gotta face blah blah blah.
The
and
standard
be blah, blah,
MJF
blah,
storyline,
without
yeah.
doing yada yada. And I'm better than you, and you know it.
Yeah, the standard MJF storyline.
Exactly. Which, I mean, I like. Because literally, MJF can just pay off anybody to fight his battles.
I'm getting a little tired of it, though. And I'm not like the last two times they did it, it was good. You know, when they did it with Jericho and they brought in, you know, Juventud Guerrera and, you know, things like that, that was cool. And they did it with Bryan and basically just used as an excuse to have all these matches with Bryan, dream matches with Bryan Danielson
as well.
Yeah.
Actually,
you're kind of running it into the ground now. Like, take a break from it before you do it again. Like, put it on the back burner for a little while before we go in this you have to beat everybody to get to me thing again as on the nose. There's... For the fan base that gets mad at saying that we've seen everything before, you know, we can't have, you know, why is so-and-so in, you know, why is Roman Reigns still the champion? We've seen it before. Why is, you know, Charlotte Flair the champion? We've seen that before. For a fan base that prides itself on we need to see something different, I don't think that MJF should go to that well again. Not this time. Because we literally just saw it.
I would still push
be more creative with it.
Four-way between these guys.
Four-way I'm okay with. But if you want to have, like, people, like, obstacles, be more creative with it this time.
Yeah.
But I will say this, MJF was spitting truths
with the Jericho Appreciation Society to keep everybody away and maybe try to push for I'll fight Sammy Guevara because he's more trustworthy. And of course you'll have massive heat reactions because like the IWC hating on Cody, there's the AEW fan base shitting on Sammy.
Yeah.
For reasons unknown.
But MJF did spit some truths and became the biggest good guy ever when he did spit the biggest truth in Canada. We all know Sean was better than Bret anyway.
I knew the moment I heard that, I was like, there's somebody smiling in the
Yep. All knew Sean was better anyway.
But I definitely heard CJ screaming because a cake got destroyed.
Yes. The more things change, the more they say the same. MJF went into the cake.
She did. I know sadly she's on the show, but did she have anything to really say about the cake? I don't know if she was like watching it.
We made a joke about how he's buried now because everybody cites that segment when with Charlotte and Tony Storm from a couple years ago about how like, oh, if that happens, the person's buried. So it's like, okay, well, I guess MJF's buried now.
So whoever gets hit by a cake, they get buried?
Exactly, because that's how everybody felt about... I mean, I'm not going to say the segment was good. It was stupid. Like, back when it happened in 2021, I think,
okay.
With Tony Storm and Charlotte, but, you know... I mean, like, it was stupid. It was a stupid segment, and, like... But I don't think that's what buried Tony Storm in WWE. What buried Tony Storm in WWE was just bad creative from... the person booking at the time.
What?
We're breaking our own rules, but we gotta move on.
The segment more was just the personal aspect from each wrestler saying.
Yes, that was
that
good.
MJF has never sacrificed anything, and they also spit some truth that the three of them have been on Dark, Elevation, Rampage. MJF, nada.
Yep, and also MJF has beaten all of them. He's beaten Sammy 1-on-1. He's beaten Jungle Boy 1-on-1. He's beaten Darby 1-on-1. So, you know, MJF, you know, and this would be cool if he does this for his character, can actually be like, you know, I don't know you guys anything. I've beaten all of you.
Man, that's going to be the big one. It's like, all right, if you've beaten all of us 1-on-1, can you try to beat us all at the same time?
Yeah, we'll see. Be more creative with it than, I've got 5 challengers for all of you. Again, that's not a bad storyline, but we just literally got done doing it. Like but between Jericho and Bryan, there was a few years.
Clean.
Like wait a little longer before you do it this time.
Yeah. Well, like I said, like I would push them to say, like, you've never beaten anybody clean. Like, you've never needed to use, or you've always needed to use, like, the dynamite ring, or you needed weapons, or a blindside attack, or William Regal.
Well, here the problem with that is like MJF's just going to be like, yeah, and I have a belt, you have nothing. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Just like, hey, you know all about that. Because you're a Patriots fan. Every time somebody says, oh, the Patriots cheated, you go, so what? We won Super Bowls. That is MJF right now. Yeah, I cheated. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I always love my argument, like, just with people, like just trashing on Tom Brady with the deflated footballs. And I always say my argument was, he served his suspension and he still won a Super Bowl that season. What more do you want?
Yeah, so I mean, it doesn't matter that they cheated. It doesn't matter that lesser teams would have got more penalty. They won. So if that would mean, just as much as that argument means nothing to your fan base, that argument means nothing to MJF. So therefore, they probably shouldn't go in that direction.
Also, my favorite roast of the night with MJF saying that Sammy's going to marry another girl in 7 months, and then Sammy going, didn't your fiance leave you? Which we still can't confirm or deny if that even happened.
I don't. That part does nothing for me.
I know. It's stupid whenever, like, personal situations get in the way of things, but I did admit I laughed hearing that. Like, oh, you walked right into it.
Well, we're walking right into Hangman and the Dark Order versus the Blackpool Combat Club. This was a really good match, and Stu Grayson is all elite. Again.
And they literally put in brackets on the AEW page. Again.
Yeah.
This is weird, though. It's like he came back in Toronto, so it's like, is he back again? Because that confused me. Like, anyway, I thought
he's back under contract now. He wasn't under contract that other time. I'm really hoping Dark... I mean, like, it was a good match, and Blackpool Combat Club needed to win. But I'm hoping Dark Order can get a big win soon. People love the Dark Order, and I'm not saying they're going to be, like, a dominating, stable of good guys, but the Dark Order... The Dark Order could be tag team. You could get either Silver and Reynolds or Grayson and Evil Uno, and they could win the tag titles. Or you could get, 3 of them to be trios champions. So I'm hoping at some point in the not too distant future, the Dark Order can get their win, get a big win, get something.
I'm gonna be honest, and this is really sad to say that they have not had a big win since the Brody Lee Celebration of Life, for obvious reasons. But
yeah,
kind of, I'm sad to say this, that has basically been peak Dark Order right there.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Next up, Jade Cargill wrestled Nicole Matthews. I was actually kind of happy to see Nicole Matthews. I've seen some of her work from the Independents. But she got destroyed, and then Taya Valkyrie came out, and I mean, it's going to be a good match with her and Jade. Taya's a good wrestler, but
I got nothing on this one.
I said this on Twitter. I'm like, here we go. Here's new talented wrestler debut for the women's division. Here we go. Here we go again. Here's somebody that could be really good. Here's somebody that could elevate the division. The ball is in the writings court right now.
How long is Thunder Rosa out again?
Yeah. The ball for the entire women's division, and I've come to this conclusion, the ball is all in the writing and their use as court. The women there can all put on great matches. You got top-class wrestlers from top to bottom in the AEW women's division. You have Hater. You have Britt. You have Ruby Soho. You have Toni Storm. You have Taya Valkyrie now. And you have a lot of really good wrestlers in the women's division, but yet every single time it's like, well, will this be the thing? It's like, just kind of.
Like if you've
It's
assembled
getting frustrating,
team,
and I
but
can't
they
imagine
fall
how they
short
feel.
on expectations.
Yeah, and it's never been the fault of the women's effort, but it's like, you know, and I know I've said this before on the show. I know I've said it before. You know, there was all these different, well, when this happens, everything will turn a corner. You know, when COVID restrictions lift and Britt Baker gets the title, it'll all be over. And to be fair, Britt had probably one of the best women's championship reigns, if not the best women's championship reign. Uh, but then they're like, oh, but it'll really get better when Thunder Rosa's the champion. Okay, well she's hurt. Well, it'll get better when Tony Storm can outright be the champion. You know, and every single time it's like, well, and now, you know, I mean, Saraya came out of retirement, and she's doing like what should be the biggest Grand Slam of that whole division, and it's still like, you know,
They're basically creating a women's version of the NWO, it seems.
It should be a good storyline, but it's just so inconsistent. You know, we want, you know, we have that great, we always have a great women's match. We're like, and here we go. You know, be it Rosa and Britt, or, you know, the Ty J match from the end of the year in 2021, and, you know, the cage match with Thunder Rosa, and all these different matches that are, you know, superb matches. And we're like, and here's the corner being turned, and it's like, nope. And I emphasize the point. It's not the talent. It's not this. This is all on like poor management and poor writing for them. All of it is.
And again, what the hell is Statlander coming back? It's like
she's really hurt. She's really hurt. I'm not gonna. You know, like, I do wonder if that's kind of why Jade's reign's starting to feel stagnant, because they might be prolonging it longer than they thought they would because of Statlander. But I feel like if at this point, if she's not within the realm of coming back now, you need to move on. You need to move on and find somebody different, and maybe it is Taya. I don't know though.
And also, like, if she wasn't involved with the rivalry with the, what are they calling themselves? Outsiders, Outlanders, the out.
It's not the Outsiders, because that was
I know they have a name.
Outcasts.
The Outcasts. There we go. If Britt wasn't involved with that rivalry with the Outcasts, I would honestly go for a Britt Jade match.
Yeah.
And especially, like, Jade could have, like, the ultimate promo and be like, you know, of all the people that, you know, you would want to fight with, you really want to fight me. Of all the crap that you've told all these people, and you want to come out as the hero to me. It's like Magneto trying to save the world.
Yeah. Well, next up we have the International Championship match: Orange Cassidy and Jeff Jarrett. It was a good match. I'm not gonna complain.
Ocean Spray 24/7 365 championship.
Yep.
Thank God.
Yep. And I said this privately because I'm very happy about the name change, because now it makes more sense. But, you know, everybody from Reddit to Twitter would give me shit going like, but the matches are great. You know, just because there's the name, you know, doesn't make a lot of, you know, you think the name doesn't make sense, doesn't mean that it's not a good title. And other than trying to go like these matches wouldn't be very good if they were in WWE. I said, if WWE created the South American Championship and put a Mexican flag on it, it wouldn't matter if AJ Styles were having bangers with Johnny Gargano and fucking Seth Rollins every week for it. People be still be going, yeah, that title makes no sense. Pretty dumb.
Or even Santiago Escobar. If I said the name right.
Well, what I'm saying is, if WWE had a South American Championship with a Mexican flag on it, It wouldn't have mattered how good the matches were. The IWC would be going, that's stupid, and rightfully so. That makes no sense. So I didn't give AEW a pass on the All Atlantic Championship. The International Championship is a much better name. This first match for the International Championship was a good one. And yes, I'm saying that about a Jeff Jarrett match. I'm not player hating on Jeff. He did a good job. He did the right thing. Everything about this match was right. Everything. Now what I would like to see is, I want to know what makes the International Championship different from the TNT Championship. We talked about this last week. What is going to make the... There are two different secondary belts in AEW. What makes them different? What makes one way and one the other? You know.
I think we said last week that we should just keep the TNT Championship on television.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, you can have a pay-per-view match for it, but like make that a match for television, like what they did with the NWA TV title and Arn Anderson.
Or even maybe the TNT Championship, if it does appear on a pay-per-view, make it the open, make it like the buy-in.
Yeah. Do something.
Free air belt that you got right there.
Do something to establish real identity for both belts, other than just here's belts. Don't make one feel like the old European Championship in the WWE, where it was just like, oh hey, there's another belt, cool. Do something to make this. Do something to make it better. Do something to make them feel different, be it from how often they're defended, how they're presented, something. You know,
if this could be Championship, that's the only other secondary women's belt. So it makes sense if there's a pay-per-view match for that belt. Well, yeah, because that's the only one.
Yeah. If they got this right in the late 1980s, you should be able to get it right now. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm going to say. But still, good match. Not going to play or hate on Jeff Jarrett. He did a good job here. Orange Cassidy did a great job. Everything that needed to happen with this match happened. It happened. Like, everything about this match was right. The Outcasts go and do an interview, and then Rio came out with a pipe and beat him down. It's kind of cool seeing a new side of Rio, but this segment was kind of blah.
And also, fuck the IWC for chasing Rio off Twitter.
Yeah, I just throw one more thing on the why the IWC sucks pile.
Yep.
Trios Championship match. The Elite versus the House of Black versus the JS. Good match. The right team won. I was really worried that they were going to have either Kenny or Jericho win and end the House of Black's reign early to give them their, we're in Winnipeg moment. But they didn't get that, so kudos there. And the right team won. And let's keep building this division, because it needs it. This is a step in the right direction.
Yeah,
this is a step in the right. Doing stuff like this is better than that best of 7 series for this belt. Absolutely. And yeah, that is. Anything else you want to add about this?
No, like I said, just if you're gonna crap on the tag division, like the Guns being champions, then do something great about the trios belts.
Yeah, that's the tag division in AEW. It is a sad state of affairs where the WWE has more hype around a tag team title match than AEW. That is a sad state of affairs.
As I said, which division's more like disappointing right now, the women's or the tag division? If you really had to pick one.
That's a tough one. This is gonna sound bad, and I don't mean for it to. I'm gonna go with the women's division just because. Or no, excuse me. I'm gonna scratch that. I'm gonna go with the tag division because the tag division was once the best in wrestling. From matches to how everything, the writing for it, everything. So the fact that they were once on top with the tag division and now it's fallen so hard makes it feel worse than the division that was always kind of having some stop start aspects since the very beginning of the company.
Yeah. And then the Guns ruined it.
It was getting that way before the Guns. As much as I'm not okay with that call to make them the champions, the writing and the how that division was utilized was the rocks were crumbling quite a bit on that division, and they'd have the few they'd have the Acclaim, there's some bubble gum on the hole in that boat, and but yeah, it's
Lately, I've also been seeing that the wrapping has been getting stale. I don't know why.
I don't know. I don't know if I feel that way, but I always thought that sometimes the raps were good and sometimes they were bad, and it just kind of was what it was. But yeah, that is the week in wrestling. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. If you enjoyed, please like, share, and subscribe for more content. And follow me on my social media pages, facebook.com/athleticgeek89. And tweet me how I'm not a real wrestling fan at athletic_geek89. Easy.
Well, you can follow me at Twitter, and if wrestling ain't your thing, well, you can talk to me about how awesome Sebring was last night. You can talk to me about other racing like Formula One and how dull NASCAR was today. So
couldn't even get Brad Keselowski winning to at least have something good to hang our hats on. No. We had to get little crybaby bitch winning again.
I like Joey Logano.
How can you like Joey Logano and hate Kyle Busch?
I like Penske. Lately, I don't really go for the drivers much. I go for the teams.
Yeah, I can't.
I'm the same way with IndyCar. I'm a Penske guy.
I can't do that.
And I like Ganassi.
I can't do that. Racing there are teams, but no, I can't.
It's just I will at least say we can all universally laugh at Ty Gibbs because he's been driving like shit.
I don't. They're all shit. Everything. There's been nothing good about NASCAR this year. Nothing.
Yes.
Nothing has been.
I would love to talk about IndyCar, but they have a calendar set list that is more disappointing than the AEW women's division.
Yep. And on that note,
there's a thing called expansion. Our next race is in friggin' Texas. Why?
I don't mind the race in Texas. I just need to be a race in between those two. But that's not here nor there. For Easy, I'm the Athletic Geek. We're just Marcus, and we're out. Have a good one.